All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buffalo Sports Insider. Justin, would you call it the most electric show in the 716? For you, everything sports, everything Buffalo. I'm KJ Zelzinski, joined again by Justin Cejak, Colton Pankowitz, and Tommy Bailey. Later on, we'll have some more guests in the show. But for right now, thankful for all you guys being here. Again, before we start anything, if you have any questions, toss them in the chat at us so we can read them as we go throughout the show. Also, check out our social medias. I don't want to really run through them because we're expanding a lot. So check out our website, buffalosportsinsider.com. There you can find everything, including our social media and articles that are being posted pretty much daily now. I mean, we're kind of in the swing of it. So without further ado, let's get into our first topic of the day, which is the Buffalo Sabres. So the last time we talked, they were about to play the Philadelphia Flyers in Philly. That game turned out pretty good, and it was a decent win. And then flipped on its head for the next game, a pretty awful showing. And then they take it to the Leafs and beat them. So this team, man, just so hard to love. Yeah, tell me more about it. I mean,
it's a tale of two teams kind of when you look at those Flyers games, right?
Sure.
Look at the shot attempts. Tell us about that.
Well, the thing is Buffalo had 16 shot attempts in the first game on Wednesday night. We scored 5.
Got 5 goals.
And we put up 22 in the second game. We only recorded 1. And it's kind of reversed, flipped on its head, as you said, because Philadelphia only put up 15 to 19 shots, something like that. And they scored 5. I don't understand it. We were wearing the goat heads too, so everyone thinks we're going to go take it to them again, second time in a row. And that's our worst loss with the Goat Heads since bringing them back.
And you know who got the first loss with the Goat Heads was also the Philadelphia.
Yes.
So something about those are kryptonite. I don't know, but walk me through it a little bit because I kind of want to highlight some of the players that have been really good for us. Through those 3 games, and also some that have been a little tougher because Colton, I think UPL, really, really good and then really bad.
Really hard. I think he's a decent goalie that has a spurt of good games and then makes you say, okay, he's a decent goalie. And I think you're going to see that kind of with. I don't think it matters who you put in net. Whether it's Levi Comrie or UPL, that defense is prone to having a lot of mental errors that almost any goaltender out of 2 or 3 of the best can help you out with. And if they are, it's not going to happen on a night-to-night basis.
Exactly. And one player from that defense, Owen Power, man, that second game, the tough loss to the Flyers, -5. He was on the ice for all of those. And just watching the tape back, too, just really, I don't know, just some head-scratching plays, really lazy, chops at the puck. It's come on now. First overall pick, we're paying you.
A new contract. You don't want to see that.
Exactly. It's
it continued in that Maple Leafs game, too, because his line was going for a really nasty line change in the middle of a play, and that led to the Konechny breakaway right there in that second game. And then, the Maple Leafs game, he got a little bit better there, but, the team just needed to get a little bit more consistent, and it was definitely not the defense that won us that game. Talk Potts, too. Biro had 2 in the first Flyers game. A lot to talk about with those guys. Middlestat records his 150th career point as a Buffalo Sabre off the assist from the Greenway goal in the Maple Leafs game.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of good things that came out of this week. But all in all, we're still not doing all that bad recently. We've won 3 of our last 4 games. And we're playing against Carolina, who's a tough team on the road. So we'll see what they do.
Exactly. All things considered, pretty good. JJ Peterka on a 5-game point streak, something like that.
6 now.
6 now.
He added to it.
Goal. Yeah, he has been on fire recently.
Yeah,
not only him, but
third on the team with goals. He's got 5. He's only behind Thompson and Skinner, who are arguably our 2 best offensive players. So, it's crazy to see.
A great way to step up. So, not only that, Jordan Greenway, too. Had a really great goal with the Leafs, but even before that, on special teams, he's been fantastic.
That penalty kill team.
Exactly. The PK is scary. So, there are successes, but it definitely doesn't help with all the injuries that have been kind of stacking up against the Sabres. First you have, obviously, earlier in the season, Levi going out. Just came back into the Leafs game, had a decent showing, not a perfect showing, but a decent showing. And then Samuelson going down brings back Bryson, and then also they decide to call up Ryan Johnson. And tell me more about that because I
don't even mention Jack Quinn.
Jackie's still all the way He is down there.
It kind of was like a domino effect because if you see the first Flyers game, Biro Potts too, but he does get injured.
Yep.
He goes to IR. We
I
bring
was
up Rusek, who didn't do too much in that Flyers game.
Yep.
Samuelson ends that game with an injury. Right at near the end, the Cousins fight at the end.
Yeah.
He gets injured. He's undisclosed for a couple of days.
Yep.
He misses the Maple Leafs game. And then it's just been a domino effect. But Ryan Johnson stepped into his role perfectly. And honestly, it's kind of crazy to think that he got a point out of that game because they only gave him 8 minutes. They only gave him 8 minutes in the entire game, and that's honestly insane that he got the point.
And that feed to Skinner
That
too.
feed, and the thing is that
Yeah.
people don't talk about enough about that play is hand-eye coordination because he bats that puck out of the air. It's a dump-in for Philadelphia. They're going on a line change, and that he notices that, bats it down, fires a beautiful pass to Skinner, and Skinner does the rest.
Yep. Exactly. What a beaut. Yeah, no,
Of course.
Ryan Johnson has been really stepping up. So, and again, not only that, Benson being out too. It's just, again, this team that.
What is it with Buffalo sports and
I was about to
injuries?
say, even similar to
Literally,
the
man.
Buffalo Bills, just a lot of these players.
This is
going
what it
down.
is this year, I guess.
Yeah, just
This is what it is.
really tough. But again, Carolina Hurricanes game coming up should make for an interesting bout. Now, tell me more. The Hurricanes are doing how good this season?
Carolina is coming into this game with a 7-5-0 record so far on the year and everything. And a very noteworthy stat is they lead the league with shots per game with 35 a game.
Mm-hmm.
So if that happens, and you're
Do we know who's going to be in net against Carolina?
I'm 95% sure it's supposed to be Levi again.
I'll be fine with that. I kind of
Yeah,
want
But
to
the
see.
thing is with if you look at our defense and then you take into effect the fact that they have 35 shots on average per game, this does not seem like it's going to be too well. It's going to be an offensive game. We're going to have to step up the offense, and I hope to see it happen early and often. And I feel like a big thing in this game is going to be taking the lead early.
Well, I like the fact that you mentioned that offense. I think we will need the offense in this game, and I think the offense is kind of catching its stride for the first point in this season, I would argue.
Agreed.
Talk's fine in the net.
Great.
Tage Thompson.
Thompson is looking great.
Tage Thompson
What is it? The Leafs game. He strips the
What
guy.
does he have? He has 9 points in the
shorthanded.
last 6 games,
Yeah.
right?
Fantastic.
Oh,
I mean, he looks electric. Obviously, we mentioned Casey Middlestat being a steady presence on both the playmaking and the goal scoring side of things. Greenway playing his role. Obviously, Darlene's always a threat from the blue line.
Yeah,
and we're going to need a lot from the offense.
There's some players too that I think definitely need to step up a little bit more. I mean, you have, like I said, like you can say Arposo in some ways, but he did his job again in the Leafs game, screened the goalie and made.
Right, yeah.
What's the expectation?
He's a fourth line
right.
guy.
Again,
He's getting up
fourth
there
line
in
guy.
age.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even then
It's
spin that
awesome
around.
to see him get the intensity level up. Because,
Oh, yeah.
Like when you got a guy that old on the fourth
yeah.
line, especially since he's been on the first and second line most of his career, and he's still going to him, giving it all he has, and that kind of sparks the whole team to just play better. And they sure did in that game.
I was going to say, flip that around. Then another fourth liner would be like Peyton Krebs. Peyton Krebs has definitely.
Krebs has gotten good chances. He's just not been able to bat at
Can't
home.
put it in.
Exactly felt like a non-factor so far. Again, that can change during Carolina, but will it?
An interesting thing to note for the Carolina game is we've already played 5 Metropolitan teams. That's twice against both the Islanders and the Flyers. We split those series. We're 2-3-0 when playing Metropolitan teams.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing to take into effect here, especially since we're playing arguably the best team in that division. And I'm sorry, we're actually 2-4-0 against Metropolitan teams because we played the Devils as well. My fault.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, again, just a lot to look forward to for this game. Just kind of, again, it's just the defense definitely needs to find their kind of identity. I feel like you have your star players.
You've been seeing Granato switch up those lines so frequently.
And
And it's
feels
not
like every
even.
game.
I feel like the big issue right now is the injuries because most of the injuries, if you look at it, have been targeted near the defense, things like that. So
it's tough to find chemistry when things like that happen.
It's tough to find a unit that clicks when your main guys are not playing. So you're gonna have to throw Bryson in there. You're gonna have to throw Johnson in there. And that's not to say they're bad players. It's just they're not every night guys like Samuelson is going to be for this team.
Right.
And you got to find a D partner for Samuelson early in the year so we cannot lose fundamentally like that when it gets farther in the year.
Yeah, again, all that and more tomorrow when the Sabres travel out to Carolina to take on the
should be a fun one.
Hurricanes. Yeah, again, that's 7 p.m.
3 and
right?
2, yes, 7 p.m. We're 3-2 on the road. It'll be at PNC Arena, so we'll see how it works.
Yeah, that's also an interesting conversation to have. Obviously, for
an interesting thing as well. Sorry, last thing here.
Yeah, go ahead.
6 goals on average in our last 2 road games: the Senators game and this one.
Something about them Sabres, either in their goat head jerseys or
not
being at home.
Yeah, something like that. Bro.
Again, maybe the Sabres need to maybe build a new stadium or something. I don't know.
Something, man.
Yeah, so we're going to get to a quick commercial, but when we get back, we'll be talking more about the Buffalo Bills with Deshaun Francois and Kayla Sterner. In the meantime, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Here's a commercial from Mercy Flame.
How was school today?
It was good.
Did you play volleyball?
Yes.
How's your serve coming? I think we'll work on it this weekend.
Amy's slumber party is this weekend.
Is your homework done?
No.
That was the deal we made. If you do...
Hi, Lauren. My name is Katie. We're going to take care of you, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, welcome back to Buffalo Sports Insider. We got Kayla and Deshaun on the show. Welcome back. So let's get started because, man, there's a lot to unpack after what happened last night. Because, I mean, it just, again, it gets – I say to my family all the time, we sit down at the couch ready to watch the Bills game, and it just just get so nervous watching games now. It's just looking back at 2020, 2021, it was just felt really confident going into games, and now it's just it's such a big question mark,
I want to say it was actually a different kind of Sunday for me because I didn't anticipate the Bills to have a good game, and they didn't have a good game. But to talk about why I didn't anticipate that, starting off my day, I heard people say Happy Bills Sunday, they were just getting ready for the Bills game, and I'm just Bills Sunday, they haven't really been doing nothing for us to give them this day, and then boom, they just ended up having the game that they did. But I love the way that they started out. So I anticipated they didn't have a good game, but they started out good. So it was kind of interesting.
I think one of the things too, especially from looking back at the games this season, was a lot of if the Bills don't have a good first drive, then toss the game out the window because it's they really don't play well. So I get to see them get the touchdown on their first drive. That was good. It was
Josh being Josh.
Exactly, Josh being Josh, getting that controversial taunting penalty. Again, that's a whole nother conversation. 15 yards, and
I don't understand it.
No fun. Getting soft. It's just the game is getting so soft.
That game started so fresh offensively. Both teams are rolling. If you're looking as a Bills fan, it's a little terrifying because you've seen the Bills lose in these shootouts forever, and then the refs get involved, and it's okay, now we're in a slow slugfest to end the first half, and they completely, deteriorated.
What was that? The roughing the passer penalty? So I have no idea because not only that between the Bills game and I think it was the Patriots game, Mac Jones got hit or something like that on a clean sack. It's what are
I'm so past
D-line supposed to do now?
I'm so past officials in this season. I'm so past that conversation because I don't want to blame wins or losses on officials at this point because they're humans too, and they're going to make bad calls, they're going to miss calls, and there were several in this game. But let's face it, the Bills did not play good, and I've learned to kind of take the opening drives from both teams, just with a grain of salt because those drives are scripted, and you can't put too much stock in that because you come in with a game plan, you do in the Bills' case, a week and a half of scouting, and they make it look easy, right? It looks natural. The Bills' offense it's smooth. Once you get past that first drive, you're going to have to audible, and you're going to have to make some calls here. And it's just not about making the calls. It's about making calls at the line of scrimmage, and they just don't do that.
I think what was so frustrating about last night was the fact that a beaten up and broken Bills defense held off the Bengals for a long, long time.
That is the only reason they were in that game.
Exactly. And there was just nothing being produced on the offensive side.
I think your expectations obviously change with all the injuries, and you lose Bernard, and you're down, Milano and
Hyde misses some time in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And so you don't have an identity on defense. You're trying to find that still. That makes sense in week 9, but for week 9, for your offense to lack an identity, and you don't know what you're going to see going on. You don't know what they're going to do. apparently giving it to Diggs too much is an issue, and so we're
Or
going to
even
get to freshmen. Exactly. I don't understand how you scheme out Gabe Davis out of the
Donut.
game plan.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Oh my
we
God.
can't even say he was 0 for 2. He had the target.
He did get 2 targets and he didn't do anything. I'm sure one ended up.
Yeah, but you're in
Mhm.
a positive
Yeah.
game
But
in
that's
terms of
stat,
playing
bro.
from behind the entire time, and your number 2 receiver gets 2 targets. I understand Kincaid had 11,
Which
and
I
had 10
mean,
catches.
all for Kincaid. I mean,
Right.
he was that man was diving
Okay.
and leaping until the ball got punched out.
So,
and then,
When I was out watching the game last night, I was asking a couple people, and they were asking me questions back. And one thing that came up was, do we feel that the Bills are trying to use these players as developmental situation things right now? Because we got Kincaid coming in, getting all the targets. He's not looking at anyone else. James Cook is running the ball. Josh isn't running the ball. So can we say that they're trying to develop their offense around the new players that they have, or is this just their offense looking bad?
I think Dalton Kincaid is just that good. And I think they're going to continue to feed him. They didn't give James Cook that much work last night, and it was because the Bengals got on and scored. You're coming from behind.
Yet according to Thomas Bailey, thank you, Tommy. The team recorded 24 rushing yards outside of Allen.
That's the identity of the 22 Bills. Is that Josh is going to lead the team in rushing it, and it's usually not a great thing.
Why has this been the narrative for the past 2 years?
I know. There's no change. There's been
What are we doing?
change. Exactly.
What are we doing? And I think it starts with up front, right? The blocking schemes aren't great from Dorsey, whether you want to place that on the lineman or the Dorsey.
Spencer Brown had his worst.
Oh
somehow had his
my
worst game of the
golly.
Spencer Brown returned
the
to
same-
form.
to the-
He was due. He was due. Yeah.
To the same tune, Osiris Torrance played awful too.
Yeah, that right side of the line was struggling all night, and that's what can't happen. And everybody preaches the blind side this and the blind side that.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league when he rolls out right. It's statistic, it's advanced stats, and they brought it up for multiple games. And yesterday he can't get comfortably outside to the right because Brown's not holding his block, and Torrance is struggling for the second time of his career.
Especially when they
he was
put,
holding something.
especially when you like Dawkins as a reliable guy, but when Trey Hendrickson is opposite and he's getting constant pressure and it's coming from the right side too, no matter who's rushing, there's no help. You can't do anything.
Oh, man, yeah, just a really frustrating game all around.
I'm
No,
sorry to
go
cut you
ahead,
off.
go ahead,
I am
you're right.
sick of shotgun run calls. What are we doing? It is so obvious that it doesn't work. We're through 9 weeks now. I haven't seen one successful shotgun run.
They had one, and it was to the camera side of the field. But outside of that, I agree. And
my
what
gosh.
happened with scheming the middle of the field out?
I was gonna say that too. Like
This
I always
is
feel
like-
like it's out routes.
Like if you see
There's, like,
Tyrod
nothing in the
Taylor
middle.
play in 2017, he's like, yeah, no, this is exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Because how often do you see it?
No,
How
we
often
don't.
do you see it?
You don't.
They throw it secure outside of the numbers. Kincaid is the only guy inside of the numbers.
Yep,
and
exactly.
He's still along the seam outside.
And there's no guys in stride. Yeah, they're never hitting guys.
And
in stride.
speaking about the wide receivers running routes, I want to note that towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter, Sherfield actually came in for Gabe Davis.
Yes, thank you. Gabe Davis was benched. Yeah, Sherfield was there, and I mean, was that a catch or no? I can't. I
Stupid
don't know.
challenge, regardless.
Stupid challenge. Yeah, why do we waste a challenge
Him
on
and
that?
Mike Conlon are the absolute worst in the league.
Coming from a Steelers fan,
Yes,
fan,
yeah.
which is it's valid.
Absolute worst in the league. Why would you risk
So
it? Why would you risk it?
the first one is on Allen. I don't understand the hate towards the coaches. They ran out of time. That was poor execution. I don't think I hate the challenge so much because I think they figure they have to burn the timeout at some point regardless. And a timeout is 60 seconds, and that offense is moving on the field and had to regroup.
Yeah.
Versus a challenge, you're getting immediate timeout. You're getting 3 or 4 minutes to get your defense a breather and offense to finish off the drive.
And again, I'll say it once again. You're talking about the defense being on the field all the time. Josh Allen is a rhythm quarterback.
Mhm.
If you have the defense who's on the field, right, and then they get a successful stop, pull their offense off, Josh Allen comes on the field, throws a pick, and now it's right back to defense again. He's not getting time on the field, and your defense is getting so.
That
worn
brings us
out.
into the up-tempo offense conversation.
Yeah. Let's talk about the offense. Yeah.
And why do you stop going to it? We've seen it work over the past couple of weeks, and there's just a hesitancy. I don't understand. I mean, and they were talking about it after the game. It's just like they're playing too much within the game plan. There's no hero ball anymore. That's all gone. I hope you guys enjoy the 2020 Bills where you guys had it.
Exactly.
It's not coming back as far as this season.
There's no identity. I think that's the bottom line is that there's no identity.
The thing that frustrates me so badly is that I understand that you want to control the clock because they haven't done that for the past few weeks, and they've just squeaked by or they lost when they didn't.
Yeah.
But you want to control the clock, but you're going to do it by not running the ball.
Yeah.
You're just going to take your time to the line, burn timeouts because you're not ready to get to the line, and then you're going to get to a 2nd and 7 and run that running back draw or a short pass and leave yourself 4 yards short of the sticks. And now you're like, okay, I actually have to think. And now you just wasted 6 minutes and you're punting the ball back to Joe Burrow, who's playing like a top 3 quarterback in the league again.
He could not miss yesterday.
He's in the MVP running, in my opinion.
Well, he's going to pop. I mean, I don't know numbers wise, but he's an MVP caliber quarterback.
He had his
They're on
best
like a
game
4-game
against the
win
Bills.
streak now too.
That was his
So
best home game of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to pose a question too, because it's like, again, you saw the stats last night with, the win or the percentage of making playoffs and everything. And now, again, with the Bills loss, it just drops down to like 47 or something.
Mhm.
Like, again, how much time do we have left, do you think? Like, is there a chance? And again, according to Thomas Bailey, again, the last time that this is the most losses for Buffalo since 2018, which was also the last time the team missed the playoffs. So
same amount as last year.
I think it's tough to compare it to that, but at the same time, like every week, like this isn't the identity the Bills have had for the past 3 years. You have your game that you lose every season that you just shouldn't. You're a better team.
Yeah.
Then you lose one in the division. That's what it's been for the past couple of years. And now you've dropped 3 games you shouldn't, and now 1. The Bengals loss isn't that concerning to me. It's their record.
Right.
So to me, you have 3 games before the bye. You have the Broncos. You have help me out.
Broncos, then Jets,
and then Eagles,
and then
Chiefs, and then
Cowboys.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
I hate
You
listening.
have to win at least 2 of those 3, and you at some point you have to win a game that maybe you're not supposed to, or that nobody expects you to. And you have to beat the Chiefs. You have to beat your AFC teams, or else they could.
We're looking at a playoff spot. Or a wild card spot. Forget the division. The Bills have had 2 chances to reclaim the AFC East, and both times they've failed. So
exactly.
There's just no sense of urgency at this point.
Exactly. A gift from the Dolphins yesterday too, is they lost to the Chiefs. It's like, again, this would have been the go ahead. This would have been it.
And now you actually fall behind. You fall behind the Jets.
On the Jets, I was just going to say that because they have the game advantage.
You're not even on the brink of looking, and you're 2 spots.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to In the Hunt.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think we'd be back here.
At week 9 in the hunt.
Can we take a second though? Take a second to break down the conversations after the game.
Yeah.
I thought they were
very telling. Very telling.
Josh Allen has been just kind of flamed for, it's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
We lost because of me. And it can be the case. It cannot be the case. He's throwing a pick in 5 straight games, whatever. He didn't take the fall last night.
Right.
For what felt like the first time in his career. He had I should have did this or that. But the statement that, I'm just executing to the best of what's called type comment.
That's telling.
That is telling.
That's about as
been defending.
Yes.
Dorsey and his
That
calls.
is about as like throwing your offensive coordinator under the bus as you can get.
That makes me think.
Our questions too.
That makes me think. How long has he been doing that?
Exactly. Like it answers our questions because we've been asking how long has it been Josh Allen, Ken Dorsey, or the personnel that's on the field. He kind of just said that alone right there by saying he's just executing whatever plays is going through his headset.
And now you have a trust issue between your offensive coordinator and your franchise quarterback.
Whatever's going on with whether you want to blame Dorsey, whether you want to blame the personnel, whatever's going on right now isn't working with Josh Allen and Ken Dorsey, or even if you want to tie in Sean McDermott. It's not working, and we're in week 10 now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to make a change necessarily at this point, but if you do, is Joe Brady really a better option than Ken Dorsey?
No, you can't change your system.
I think.
So what do you?
Exactly. Ken Dorsey lasts the season, but does he make it one more?
I don't know.
I believe so.
Well, here's how this goes.
I think it should.
Here's
Okay.
how it goes.
Okay.
You make it to the playoffs and you get to maybe the AFC Championship. Maybe you make it to the Super Bowl. Yes. I don't think you have to have like a certain statistical performance or turn the season around offensively. I think it's based on a win.
Sure.
Someone's gonna have to be the fall guy if the Bills miss the playoffs for the first time with Josh Allen starting a full season.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be Ken Dorsey, and maybe it's even Sean McDermott. And I don't think we're ready for that conversation yet.
Exactly. Just again, a lot of stuff to unpack with this Bills loss, and again, their next game coming up against the Broncos could be something good.
Unless it's
will
Broncos
it?
country. That's
Again,
right.
it's going to be
That
tough
would
to read.
be the nail in the coffin.
It really would. But I think that's all the time we got here in the studio. Thank you.
Bust in the kitchen. I'm begging.
Exactly. Please. So again, thanks for joining us on the show today. If you are interested in what we do here, check out BuffaloSportsInsider.com. That way you can check out all the articles we're releasing and all of our social media. And I'm really excited. So next, this upcoming Wednesday, we're going to have 2023 Fan of the Year, Del Reed on the show. So really excited to see him here. So tune in next Wednesday, 3 p.m. We'll be live. And I think that just about does it for us. So KJ Zelzinski, Colton Pankowitz, Kayla Sterner, Deshaun Francois, Justin Cejak, wishing you a great day, great week. Go Bills. And we'll see you next time. Take care.